Hello. Welcome to another episode of Texas Strip Club's Uncensored podcast. I'm DJ Jack, and I'm going to be your host for today. Today, we're going to talk about a subject that my friend Reagan told me a few days ago would be a great subject to talk about. The reality is, I can't believe I haven't talked about it before. Single stripper moms. Okay? And there are different forms of single stripper moms. Now, the best analogy I can give to people is that, single stripper moms are like Spanish. The word Spanish. Now, everybody knows that it means a language. But the reality is, if you talk to people from Spain or Mexico, Honduras, Chile, Venezuela, Argentina, not even counting Brazil, which is like a Portuguese form of Spanish, it's not all the same. Different regions, different dialects. It's all different. I have met people from all those places. And let me tell you, it's not all the same. Okay? It's different. So just because you call it Spanish doesn't mean that it's universal. Okay? It's distinct characteristics. Basically, tell you where you're from. Where you're from. Okay? If you're from Guatemala, your form of Spanish is different than somebody from Mexico. Okay? Now, single stripper moms are the exact same thing. First, there's a hierarchy, okay? In terms of money making in the clubs, there are single stripper mothers, a very formal word, mothers, and then there's single stripper moms, and then there's babies mamas. I'm not even going to put single stripper baby mamas because all baby mamas, if you get labeled with that, you're pretty much all in the same category. All right, so let's start off. Let's start with the queen of the bunch, which is the single stripper mother. A very formal word. And I'm using it because these people are very driven in terms of this business. You might be thinking, business? That doesn't make any sense. No, this is a job. I told people many times before, you can go to a strip club, get a job, and treat it like a party and make money, but only a little, and then you might lose your job. Or you can treat it as a job, because that's what it is, and you can use it to its fullest. These women meet customers. They don't just meet customers, they turn them into clients. Okay? Like every business has clients. They have clients. They get numbers. They have personal relationships with these people. They have conversations, text messages, emails, even phone calls. Why? Because they want to bring these people into their sphere of influence. And to do that, they have to pull them close. And once they do that, these women, unlike other strippers, do not place value on lap dances. They place value on time. Every hour you're with them, it's a set rate. So you can get as many lap dances as you want. But sometimes all you want is their sparkling personality. And I'm not trying to be sarcastic when I say that. These women have great personalities. They do. They keep you entertained. They keep you entertained in such a way that time flies by. And that's not always possible at a strip club. Because there's this and that and titties and ass and beers and shots and pulls you in all these different directions. Sometimes you get so distracted, time doesn't fly by. But it can when these women keep you entertained. All right? And how do they make money? These girls structure their time like an airport. Airports are like, okay, this plane is coming in. Okay, this plane is taking off. That's how they do it. They got, say, Danny showing up from 12 to 1:30. And then you have Miguel coming from 1:30 to 3:30. And then you have Ed who's showing up from 4 to 6. Now, these girls structure their times at the clubs as much as they can. Okay? Because that's how they're going to get paid. They'd be like, okay, Danny's showing up first. Danny makes this amount of money. So you tell Danny, like, you know what? It's $500 for an hour, but you know what? You want an hour and a half, just call it $600 and we're good. All right. Then you got Miguel. Miguel's going to be there for 2 hours. Miguel makes a lot more money than Danny. So you tell Miguel, hey, you know what? $600 an hour. That's $1,200. Then Ed makes as much money as Danny, but he's going to be there for 2 hours. So you just cut him a little bit of a break because you know that he'll keep coming back. So you charge Ed $400 an hour, $800. Bam, Bob's your uncle. That is a lot of money to be made in one day. Now, some people might say like, oh, $600, $800, that comes out to $2,800. That's a lot of money. It is a lot of money. And do you know how they get that money? They cultivate clients. They treat it like a business. They spend their off time talking to people, remembering things about people. Oh, this guy has a daughter. This guy has a son. This guy got divorced. This guy's got stepkids. And it goes on and on. You have to remember all this. Because if you don't, somebody else will. And they'll take your money. You have to be willing to understand where your limits are and where they aren't. And you have to be able to give more than other people have to give. Now, do some of these girls fall into the category of classy strippers, which means that they have sex for money? In some cases, yes. Okay, I'm not going to lie and tell you that they don't. Some of these single stripper mothers, they do have sex for money, but not all of the clients do. And not all of the single stripper mothers do have sex for money. Some of them strictly have personality that some guys find intoxicating. And they want it. And the women know that. And they're willing to give up their free time. Sometimes they hate themselves for giving up their free time so they can, with their kids or their husband or their boyfriend, so they could talk to a customer. But in reality, they understand that that's money. That's money to go to school. That's money to start a business. That's money to buy a home, to buy a car, to get your kid into a private school. If you think I'm joking, you need to open up your ears and realizing that these single stripper mothers are those women that have the drive and potential to become stripper millionaires. Yes, I actually have met strippers who've worked so hard and are so driven that they have become millionaires. They have drive, they have direction, and they're going to structure everything about their day because that's what they need to do to be the most effective money-making machine they can. But there's a drawback of not being able to spend time with your family, but they understand that. They want to provide, and they're going to do it. Now you have the single stripper moms. Not as formal as the word mother. Now, I'm not saying that's bad. These women understand that they want to make money, but they also want to have life. They structure their lives so they can spend time with their kids. These girls don't work all the time like the single stripper mothers who work like maybe 5 days a week. These girls work like 3 days a week or even 2 days a week. But they try to get some regulars to see them on those 2 days. I knew, like my friend Reagan, I mentioned her. She worked Tuesdays and Thursdays. She structured people to come meet her on those days. Is that bad? No. She had more free time to spend with her family, and that's what she wanted. Now, sometimes she played the numbers game. Now, here's the thing about single stripper moms. They do play the numbers game. That's very important, okay? Because as much as you want to have regulars, it's not always possible, okay? Sometimes you have one regular, and that's not enough. He only comes like once every 2 weeks. He gives you a good amount of money when he comes once every 2 weeks, but that's not enough. So you play the numbers game. You have to think of it like a guy at a bar that wants to get laid. Okay? This is a perfect analogy, but you need to listen first. The guy who's not Brad Pitt looking wants to get laid at a bar. What does he do? He starts hitting on chicks left and right. If you say no, he'll go to your friend and ask her. If she says no, he'll go to the girl at the next table, and it goes on and on and on until he gets a yes. You know what the only difference in that analogy is? That a stripper gets naked. That's right. You're at a bar where a guy knows he wants a girl to be naked to give him a lap dance. So this girl, single stripper mom, goes to Danny and Miguel and Hector and Ed and Justin and Jason and Renee and Kevin. And she gets 20, 40, 80, 20, 100, 150. And the money, it all adds up because it's a numbers game. While she is at work, she will push herself to make as much money as possible. And she will ask every guy in there more than once if they want a lap dance. And she knows that when she gets on stage, she is doing what most people should do when they get on stage. Girls don't just get on stage because they want to look pretty, and it's It's my, I'm ready for my close-up, Mr. DeMille. No, it ain't that. They understand that stage is advertisement. They're going to go up there, they're going to put on a show so they can get guys to come up and tip them. And when a guy tips a girl on stage, you know what you're telling them? I'm attracted to you. So they're going to turn around and they're going to find you. And they're going to ask you if you want a lap dance. Is that bad? No. Because you came there for a lap dance. You want to get a lap dance. You want to have a naked lady put her butt and her titties in your face. So you know what? Those single stripper moms are going to do just that. The numbers game is not the most perfect game. There are some days where these women can make $1,000. And there are some days when they walk out with $200. Do the setbacks make it bad? Yes. Anybody can tell you that. Walking out with $200 when the day before you made made $1,000 feels like a setback. But it's a numbers game, which means that you are going for maximum effort while you can. But you're not going to sacrifice your free time by trying to talk to all these other guys and make clients because you know that your family, your kids are more important. Or going to school is more important. They understand. They have priorities. Their job is their job, but they're not going to be consumed by their job. They have other things they have to do. And I can't fault them because you know what? You're providing for your family. You're providing for your future. And that's just as good. Now we're going on to the last one. One that does not require a huge amount of time. The baby's mama. Recently, I was talking to a bartender who's also a stripper. She was telling me that after we had our conversation, after I was leaving, this girl got a phone call from jail because when they call you from jail, it says prison/jail on the phone, on the caller ID. And she accepted the call while twerking on a guy's lap while telling him, let's get bottles and go to VIP. That's baby mama stuff. These girls don't care. They're the girls that say, YOLO. Oh, I want to live my life to a fullest. I want to get that Gucci purse that has no value whatsoever because I'm going to treat her like shit and get it all scratched up. I'm the type of girl that's going to maybe suck some dick so I can go on a trip and maybe have to put out. But I didn't know that, or maybe I did. It doesn't matter because they don't care. You can be a single stripper mom with one kid who you don't actually have custody for, or you have a kid that has to be watched out by your mom, or your aunt, or your grandma, because you're not a good mom. If you're classified as a baby's mama, you're not actually a good mom when it comes to the strip club groups, okay? I hate to say it like that. But a lot of them aren't. I've met girls that have, like, instance, a girl that got a call while twerking her on a guy's lap at a bar saying, yes, I'll accept charges to talk to inmate 34572. That is the perfect example when it comes to baby's mamas. Would you respect somebody if they said that, hey, this is my baby's mama? No. There's a comedian that said that I call his ex-wife. He says, I always say, she is my daughter's mother. He's like, I respect her. Even though it didn't work out, I respect everything that she's all about. I will support her. And anything that her and her kids, she's like, hey, my car broke down. He gave her money to get the car fixed. Why? Because she uses that car to work and help provide for their daughter, and he's all up for it. A baby's mama, Jerry Springer is the best way to say it. They don't really have much value. They don't have much direction. When they lose their looks, they're fucked. And I know you're thinking that I'm being sarcastic when I say that. No. I've seen baby's mamas that got beat up, lost their looks, and went to the bottom of the barrel. So, that's the hierarchy of the single stripper moms. I hope you found this informative. More importantly, I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for listening. Please share, like, and subscribe if you can be bothered to. If not, to hell with it. Thank you for listening to my ramblings, and I will see y'all next time. Peace.